you're putting together some gorgeous Dollar Tree DIYs that are gonna fake high-end looks. You're going to love them. Please hit that thumbs up button, make sure you are subscribed, and let's jump on into it. Shopping online, I ran across a lot of these modern circular candle holders, and I knew we could make one using Dollar Tree items, so I picked up a pack of these bamboo rings, or you could use an embroidery hoop, as well as one of the longer, thinner pieces of wood. I did cut it down, so it was the perfect size just to be like a stand for these embroidery hoops. I wanted it to have like a mixed tone look, so I do go ahead and paint the base black, as well as the bigger ring, but leaving the smaller ring the like original bamboo color. I let these completely dry and then went ahead and attached the largest ring onto the base, and then like I mentioned, the little bamboo one, which I think looks really good. It matches a lot of my style. I love the wood tones everywhere, as well as the like natural bamboo look. So I went ahead and glued that down. I did secure this with a little bit of extra hot glue down in the back, and you can paint over that black if you want to. I just left it as is, and then I wanted to create a little stand for my candle, so using one of the smaller little wood slices from Dollar Tree and stuck that just on a bead that I had on hand. You could stick any kind of tower block or square block that you have, but just was really careful and got it to stick down in the middle. And then I worried if you do want to kind of camouflage in the hot glue or add a little bit of extra touch or warmth in the greenery to the bottom, I glued a couple of pieces underneath the wood and just stuck a little candle in here. I'm not going to burn this. If you wanted to light something up, you could use an LED light, but I feel like I achieved the perfect modern look, but on a super cheap budget. Next up, I was so excited to see this like cutting board shaped decor piece at Dollar Tree. Now these were hanging in different sections. I found one in the crafty section, as well as one kind of more in like the home decor section, so just look around at your store. I picked up several of them. Now I originally thought I was going to put 4 of these together, but I ended up just being able to use 3, so it made it even cheaper at $3.75. I used hot glue, but feel free to use wood glue, but I just added a ton of hot glue in here just to be really quick, but you could use any adhesive you'd like. Went ahead and attached all 3 of these together. Now the holes didn't line up perfectly, so I will go in and just use a drill to get the hole, or you could stick the bottom end of a paintbrush in or the back end of a paintbrush in there and it just kind of like work out the hole better, so you can add a little hanger at the top. Now the secret to this is to make it look like one piece. So we're taking the cheap flimsy little cutting board that Dollar Tree has that you easily could just crack in half, and we're making it super thick so it's a nicer piece. You're going to get a better, like a higher quality look for a lot less. I know that cutting boards are everywhere right now, personalized ones and plain ones and the wood ones, so this is an incredible way to get those like high-end modern looks on a budget. So for this, I just took some wood filler, went all the way around the edges, and that's going to be able to camouflage the layers, so no one is ever going to know that this is multiple pieces of cheap Dollar Tree pieces. So I let that completely dry, sanded it down flat so nothing would show up underneath the paint, painted it this white. You could go for any color that you would like, but I feel like whenever you use wood filler on like a lighter, cheaper wood, the stain doesn't always cover that, so I did want to paint it, so I went with white, and then I'm going to add a little accent stripe in the middle. I didn't have any of the leather straps on hand, so I wanted to make my own. I have some of this leftover leather ribbon that did come from the Dollar Tree, but you could use anything you have on hand. I had to cut it in half to get it to fit through the top hole, and then just kind of knotted this at the top and let it hang, and it made the perfect little hanger. This board would look really cute with a large initial on it, or personalize it for someone, but I just wanted to go really simple. I want to stack this. I love the look of the stacked cutting boards setting on like a shelf or your countertop. So for this, I put a couple of pieces of painter's tape down, and that's going to be the actual place that I paint, and then taking more painter's tape and putting on the outside of that so that everything just lines up perfect and it was all evenly spaced out without having to measure or anything. That's the easiest way that I found to do it. And then I just painted inside with some mineral colored chalk paint. And whenever I peeled the painter's tape away, this was exactly what I was envisioning. I think it looks so gorgeous popping off of that darker wood cutting board, and believe it or not, I actually picked that one up from Dollar General. So you can always find gorgeous pieces, and it's just incredible how you can stack them together and make them look even higher end, even though you're still sticking with dollar store items. I know that the concrete pieces that you're seeing out everywhere are super trendy and everyone is going crazy over them. You can create the same look, and this makes it super easy because you can get a fake concrete look using cheap items, but it's going to look so good whenever it's completed. So I picked up one of these heavier weight, like it almost feels like concrete candle holder that holds like a little tea light, and this is going to work perfect as the base using it upside down, as well as one of the plastic garden dishes, and that's because it's so wide and shallow, it's going to work perfect for like a decorative bowl. Now I painted these white, and the reason I do that is because the plastic is super shiny and it's going to be too slippery to add our spackle on there without it just slipping off. So this is going to give it a little bit of something like a matte finish for it to hold to. So I'm using the Dollar Tree spackle. You can wet this down just a tiny bit if you want a smoother look, but for this I just went for it. I really wanted that textured concrete look, and then just applying it on there, getting it as smooth as you can. I didn't want to apply too much to the bottom because I do want to hot glue that stand in place, but really packing it on there. You can even do this, like let this completely dry and do this in 2 to 3 layers for even like a more textured look, but I feel like this works so incredible. I let the bottom dry, flip this over, and then do it to the top. It really wasn't necessary to add it to the bottom stand, but I want this to just all look like it flows nicely together and has the same texture. And then this is what's going to give it that fun concrete texture or look to it, is by painting it the like any gray color that you would like. This is a tad bit darker than I would have liked, but this is acrylic paint. I just knew it would be a tad bit runnier and go on more smooth than the chalk paint. I just know that the spackle is going to soak in a ton of paint, so it's just easier to glide the acrylic across here than using the like thicker chalk paint. But either one would work. The chalk paint would even give it more texture. But after this dries, I love how it looks. It's so much texture you can see up close, but whenever you style this with other pieces, it looks really gorgeous. Okay, I wanted to share with you a really quick hack on how you can upgrade these candle holders. Now, they're really good as is. You can paint these any color, but you can see they're a little bit plain, and I knew I could make these look a lot prettier, especially with these candles that I have on hand. They're so gorgeous, so I want the base to be just as pretty. The key here is to grab a couple of jar lids. Now, I wanted to kind of like make the effect that one of these is taller than the other, so I used 2 different size jar lids, just anything that I had on hand. I have a plastic clear one as well as like a metal one, and then I just glue these down in place. Now you have to be a little bit careful because they don't fit flush against the candle holder, so make sure you're getting your glue around the rim. I like to put just a tiny dot on the back, and I can peel that off later, but it just kind of holds it in place and lets it like dry or get cool off and hold in place, and then paint these a black color. And I just love it. I feel like the size difference on the lids doesn't seem like a big deal, but you can see whenever these are completely finished and using 2 different size candles, you really get that bigger effect, so it looks like they're more of a set of 2. But I really feel like this is upgraded compared to what they look like when I pulled them off the shelf. Dollar Tree has little bubble glass vases, I think is what they're called, but I love checking the thrift store. You can see the size difference, and I just feel like the bigger that you get, the higher end that it's going to look. But feel free to use the Dollar Tree ones if that's all you can find, but I always recommend checking the thrift store and just getting some items that you can repurpose, especially if you're just going to be painting over them anyways. Once again, giving this a coat of white chalk paint, it's going to give it that matte finish and let this spackle really adhere to it a lot better. better rather than just sliding off. Now this one I did mix with a little bit of water because I wanted a little bit of a different look. The concrete one was really texturized and just had a lot of little like bumps on it, which I loved. But for this one I wanted like a smoother finish, so adding just a little bit of water makes a huge difference, letting that completely dry, and then spray painting it with some metallic gold spray paint. And this just makes my heart so happy. All of that gorgeous shimmery texture, it just really elevates the look. Throw in any fake plant in here, but really love how this turned out. I have been obsessed with using these wooden slices from the Dollar Tree. You see me use them all the time. They have the smaller packs and the like multi-packs. Smaller ones, or these that have the jute twine hanger, are $1.25 each, but I still feel like that is a good price compared to what it is. I pulled the jute twine hanger off and it did pop some of the bark off. I just glued that back in place. No one's ever going to know, but I feel like this was a really fun hack to get a high-end look, bringing in, it has like the black metal, it has the wood touches as well as some gold. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I thought that this was a rub-on transfer when I first got it out of the package. I wasn't paying attention. I just have a drawer full of rub-on transfers, so that's what I thought it was, and it wasn't rubbing on there. So then I read it was an iron-on transfer, but I thought, hey, this was a great opportunity to see if the iron-on would work on wood, and it actually worked really, really well. I used my heat gun just to heat it up enough. You can tell the paper starts to curl and just kind of peel up a little bit whenever it is starting to attach. Just make sure you give it plenty of heat without getting too close, and watch your fingers. But I'm using a popsicle stick and just kind of smoothing this out as I go, and I love the look of it. I feel like it's just unique. You don't expect like gold foil on a wood slice, but it has a really cool effect when you get it done. I didn't want to do the same thing for the second one, so I thought I would just give it a couple of little accent pieces of the gold down in the bottom corner, and then once again trying to give it that like fake look that these are different sizes. So tried to glue one of the wooden slices all the way to the top and then push the second one down as far as I could without you being able to see the black backing, but found those little stands at Dollar Tree as well. And then one of my favorite products in the plus section are these huge $3 signs. I feel like these are incredible to pick up. You can do so many things with this. And I wanted to actually use spackle to fill in the middle. So I thought it'd be fun to try this out, test it, and see how it worked. It actually worked really, really good. So I am starting by painting the frame. I'm actually using an antique wax in the Waverly chalk paints. And this is just like a really thin consistency, and it makes it look like stained wood without having to mess with the stinky stain. But go ahead and paint this over. I will be sanding it down just a little bit later on to give it more of a rustic look. Painted the backing white and then started mixing in my spackle. I knew this was too dry to really get perfectly smooth, so I did add in some water. You do want like a pudding or icing consistency so that this isn't too runny and this is going to set up hard, but you want it to be like thick enough that you can make designs in it. So I just kind of pour it out into the sign. I do end up scooping out a little bit later on just because I got it too thick, but you really need enough to be able to press it into the corners. Now you could put this in a Ziploc bag and actually like pipe the corners for a seamless look or a better, like neater look. But for this, I just tried to be careful and use my butter knife and just press it into the corners the best I could. And then I'm smoothing this out the best I could. I wasn't sure what design I was going with yet. You can look up on Pinterest like DIY plaster wall art to get fun ideas. I didn't have any like really cool trials or tools or anything that would make fun designs, so that's something that I want to look into getting. So I'm just using like the cheap Dollar Tree little like rub-on tool and making a fun little wave in it. They had a lot of these on Pinterest where it kind of looks just like a little line through it, nothing fancy. I tried to rough up the edges edges just to add in a ton of texture, and then let this completely dry and then go ahead and paint this white. Now this did take several hours to dry. I think I even left it overnight, but you can see that the paint, this is chalk paint, so it did crack a little, but I am just embracing all of this texture, so I didn't even mind the crackle on there. I think it really added something extra to it. And then I just didn't love it, so I decided to take some mineral color chalk paint and fill in the little design in the middle. And like I say, you could do any design that you'd like, look up some fun ideas. This is just me getting started, so I would love to try it again and try to do something a little bit more elaborate, maybe like some rainbow designs or some zigzag designs. I know they make specific tools that would put like really like straight lines in here, so just using what I had on hand, but I feel like it turned out okay, and you could layer this and really just have fun with it. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. Please leave a comment down below which one was your favorite, or what is your favorite high-end store to shop. So I love like Kirkland's, Pottery Barn online, as well as the at-home store gives me like a lot of inspiration to kind of dupe items. So let me know that in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.